Hello, everybody. It's very nice to be here. I'm Yogesh Foflia. I'm the global client lead at TikTok from our London offices, and I'm here to talk to you today about how culture drives the results. Look, I think you might be wondering, what does this mean? So for me, culture is meaningful entertainment. It's purposeful entertainment, something we are not just doom scrolling or doom watching, but you're watching with a purpose. And there's a subliminal messaging which then changes your mind. And that is what we feel drives the positivity on TikTok. People are generally happy when they watch content on TikTok. No one walks away from TikTok feeling sad, feeling unhappy. Now, how does that drive results? Because obviously, if people are watching, and you as brands, you're on the platform, how does it really drive results for us? And I think let's probably wind back to all the examples you saw today with a lot of great brands. They've done exceptional things on the platform. And for them, I think it's a creative license because from the time advertising has started, content has largely been the same. I mean, maybe the size of the TV box has changed. It's gone from square to rectangle to a vertical screen, but the content has largely been the same. But if you see on TikTok, it looks very different. Brands are playful. Brands show a side of themselves which you otherwise wouldn't see. And I can assure you there's no newspaper, there's no radio, there's no channel in the world that is as different as TikTok is. And they're doing some exceptional things. I don't know if you've seen the example today where the Burberry's iconic logo gets cut in a spaghetti and then it's shown up. You would never see that anywhere else other than TikTok. If you haven't, watch out. That's something really cool. And these brands are showing up and doing extraordinary things. So they're driving almost a creative revolution on TikTok. And while that's happening, there's a separate kind of evolution that's also happening on TikTok, which is brands that want to be with our platform. And they do this by being a part of our community, by almost being singular, understanding how the community connects with their brands and show up in a meaningful way accordingly. And that's what we call driving culture, driving meaningful entertainment, purposeful entertainment on TikTok. And how does this happen? Very simply put, TikTok enables all the smaller communities that are bound by attitudes and common beliefs to come together and show up on the platform. And these tiny waves lead to a massive, massive ripple. And think of anything that you can relate to on TikTok. You'll know that anything that you heard probably started as a small piece, and then it blew up. And the absolute biggest wave of them all is clean talk. Now, show of hands, how many of you in this room have heard of what is clean talk? All right, sizable one. And how many of you are obsessed with cleaning? Okay, so your hands go up right away. And look, here's the thing. This is an interesting phenomenon because I'll show you some numbers in a minute which might just be staggering. And you might even be asking me, hey, wasn't clean talk a thing of the pandemic times? Why are we still even talking about it? You're right if that question's in your mind, because it's what I thought as well, until we saw the numbers and we were like, well, maybe the pandemic was just the start of clean talk and it's just growing and it's showing no signs of slowing down. It's just phenomenal. And it makes sense, right? Hopefully people want a clean home even when it's not a pandemic. I mean, maybe, hopefully we don't see another pandemic in our lifetime, but we want clean homes all the time. So it's no surprise that it's continuing to grow. And I want to take you back to this moment during the pandemic. So this was the first moment that really brought cleaning mainstream. It was the Wipe It Down Challenge. I'm guessing most of you know what it is, but I'll show you how it brings entertainment and a purposeful message, a meaningful message together. So I'll play this video right now.
Wipe it down. Wipe it down. Wipe.
So I don't think I've seen a more funnier way for someone to say, wipe the surfaces that you get in close contact with. I mean, most often than not, it's basically on an A4 sheet. Someone publishes it, passes it under your door saying, this is the way you stay clean. But on TikTok, I think people took it to a whole different level. And you can still look up Wipe It Down Challenge on TikTok. You'll see the number of celebrities that participated in this. So that's how big it is. And before I show some stats on the next slide, I know this was presented earlier in the day. Can anyone, someone not from TikTok, tell me how many people there are on TikTok globally? Anyone? There you go. It's over 1 billion. And the popularity of clean talk is uncontested. It is bigger than beauty and hair care on TikTok. So that's how massive it is. And think of the last time anything cleaning related was bigger than anything beauty and hair related. I'm going to tell you there's absolutely nothing. There's no way that's possible, and that's how massive it is. And look, there's another message for everyone in the room, right? If you feel you have a brand or a service that you think is not a right fit for TikTok, think again. I think anything and everything has a place on TikTok, and if you're not convinced, just search up your product, your service, your industry on TikTok, and you'll be surprised how big this is. And look, Clean Talk's not just one big hash talent. There's multiple subcultures of Clean Talk. And I've taken 3 deliberate examples here. There's Mop Talk, which is nearly 462 million. There's Bathroom Clean, which is nearly 250 million, and Deep Clean is 5 billion. So it's very diverse, very different, very massive. And again, if something as mundane as these things can be so big, you can only imagine what some of your other services might be on TikTok. And why is it so big, right? What's actually driving this kind of sentiment for something so relatable, but at the same time so boring? It's because content on TikTok no longer centers around product utility. I mean, that's a given, but it appeals to all the senses. And I'll show you an example here, and maybe I'll kind of then talk to you about what it is. But this, again, is a very, very satisfying video, very simple. As you can see, very low effort to make it happen, but again, highly impactful.
Who's doing that?
Yeah, that video got over 800 million views, and it's an organic video, 0 paid behind it. So that's how outrageous it is. And look, there's again, a simple message over there that when you say all the senses, the entire digital industry is probably guilty of one thing. We were largely optimizing to sound-off environments. Well, if you think of it, sound is probably the most powerful form of communication. At TikTok, we thought, well, what the hell? We are going to go full sound on. We're going to make it as common as possible, and that's the difference. Now, again, the entire industry is now moving to a sound-on environment, and we've been there. Now, at this point, if you're asking, great, this is all phenomenal, how do brands take a part in this? Like, what's the role we've got to do over here? As brands, you can drive game-changing partnerships with your community. And I'm here to talk to you about today what we've done with Unilever. Hopefully everyone in the audience has heard of it. If not, they're one of the largest CPG brands in the world. And that partnership is probably the most exciting thing to happen to home care since the soap opera. Because again, if you think of home care, there's really nothing exciting. I mean, I challenge you, go back to your life for however long you can remember and think of one exciting moment with home care or home cleaning. There's not going to be much. Personally, for me, I thought hard, and the closest I could come, well, something not TikTok related, is when I got my Dyson vacuum cleaner, I'm like, ooh, this is really powerful. So that's as much as it was. But I think on TikTok, we've taken it up several notches. And I'll play you maybe a video here and then talk to you about what's gone on over here and what it takes to have this kind of a thinking. So straight away, you might think, right, is this a piece of ad for BMW? But you'll see how this plays out. Now, if we didn't know that we were talking about cleaning content, you're probably going to think that's an ad for a BMW or for a BMW service showroom. And that is the beauty of what you as brands need to be thinking. You need to put yourself in a position where your brand is not the hero, but it's delivering a message which resonates with our audience. And I actually feel very sad that I can't share the results with this because they were so good. They were so good. I was surprised myself. That is the power of what you need to do with content. And again, if you see, it's very low production value. You don't have to spend a ton of money making this. Literally everyone can do this, and you've probably done it in your lives, but that is the power of TikTok. And the next one, this is even more interesting, right? Look at this. This is essentially people just cleaning the house. And what I think most of us do, we just do a Sunday cleaning in our houses. So let's see how this plays out. Again, it might seem very innocuous. It might seem like any other piece of creator content you've done. But for those paying attention, I'll tell you what the big difference over there was, that there were two products, two complementary products. It belongs to the same brand or same advertiser, but there were two products advertised. There are not many instances where you can go back and think of two complementary brands being advertised. Again, brands are so unique to their identity that they don't want to do it. But in this case, because the focus is on community and it's not the brand, we saw two of them very perfectly placed deliver very strong message to our users. And that is probably the second takeaway over here. You've identified where you want to be. Second, put yourself in the position of your users. How do your users use your products? Do they use them in isolation? Do they use them together? Do they use them with your competitors' products as well? Entirely possible. I don't think most people, especially if you're in the CPG industry, most CPG brands have at least 400 or 500 brands over there. I don't think consumers know it, but put yourself in your consumers' mindsets, and that's what comes up. Again, very simple and innocuous video, but you saw the message over there. And when this happened, this is the reaction we got from the community. This, by the way, has only gone live in a couple of markets. There's more coming up soon. And our community was extremely, extremely happy with the way content has turned out. And look, I think with that, maybe three big takeaways for everyone, something that I've repeated. First, understand your community and know that there's a place for every brand, every product on TikTok. Do not be put away. If you feel you don't appeal to the TikTok audience, you'll be surprised with what you can find. Second, once you identified that, build an approach on how you want to show up on the platform. And third, once you've done that, just sit back and hopefully watch the results flow in. Perfect. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for that.